Hello everyone, welcome back to the Red podcast. Uh, Once again, special episode, as will be most episodes moving forward this period. And yeah, I I don't know how to to properly classify this one. I don't know if I should classify it as happy, sad, emotional. I don't know how I should classify it. So let's get into it. As always, um, whatever you may need is down in the description. And as time moves forward, especially now when not a lot of things are going on and the season is officially over, hopefully, crossing my fingers as I'm working on a lot of stuff at the same time in the background. I am hoping to get more and more stuff included in the show and honestly to upgrade to give back even more to all of you who have and continuously do give me all your endless support. So everything you need is down below. And as always, as with these special and or solo streams, there is a link in the live chat that you can copy so you can join me and share your thoughts and opinions on whatever the show is about and that link exists. You're free to come on and say anything because as always, if you're new, the show is simply by a fan to represent my own voice and my own opinions and platform and to give you all a judge-free one to not be afraid of judgment, attacks, toxicity or blocks in representing your opinion. And that opinion, of course, can be negative, positive, questions, thoughts, anything and everything. And it will always be met with discussion and never in the slightest judgment. I'm hoping everything is working okay. Audio and video and everything like that, as always. I am hoping and severely working towards more stability in the quality this summer, especially in the video department, but in general as well. Thankfully, I am getting better and better at managing issues that can be managed and aren't completely out of my hand, like few days ago. But you all are, as always, more understanding than I could have ever imagined and honestly maybe even asked for. So I appreciate that honestly more than any of you can actively imagine because the the understanding is a vital part for this to move on because as is evident and for those of you that have been watching me for a while, even the few of you that have been here since the very, very beginning a year and few ago by now, because it's been a year and a few months now, as insane as that sounds. You all have seen growth and understanding, but you all know that I'm not a professional. I am a fan representing fun. I am the phrase that completely stolen from professional wrestling. I aim to be the voice of the voiceless in a way, but that sadly comes with very slow improvement on my end. So I will always appreciate your understanding more than anything. Enough with my own emotional stuff and heading towards the main subject of this video. But before I delve on that main subject, I just want to give massive congratulations actually to the handball department of this team for winning the handball Premier League, the handball Greek League, call it as you wish, uh, against AEK 3-2. I want to give a congratulations to our fans that represented this team and stood behind this team better than ever. And given how the series actually ended up going, I just want to say that everyone should be proud of the boys for bringing in the 18th out of 22 possible titles this year, which honestly I can't find a more perfect way to not to just cap off, but to have consistency through our most historic anniversary year yet, because 18 titles is something that some people don't even see in their lifetime. And in our 100th anniversary, we had 18 out of 22. That's mind blowing up until a level, and that will always actively be the most mind blowing thing. It, as it comes, honestly, because even saying it out loud, if you see me constantly looking to my left, as always and as usual, to my left is my setup, and directly in front of me are my notes. So if you see me constantly looking to my left, is to see that everything is working as okay as it can be. Even though uh, a bit of a backstage, if you the setup I have honestly sometimes worries me for no reason, because even if the stream is working fine and you all can hear and see me okay, sometimes the setup is lagging on its own. So I think stuff is lagging. So if you hear me ask multiple times if audio and video are okay throughout an episode, that's the reason. So that's a bit of an inside view into how stuff is working on my end, which you'll honestly get more of as time goes on and as I improve. Now that the congratulations are out of the way, let's of course get into the subject of the day. Late last night, and I said that I was gonna do this episode as soon as Bobby's got announced, but Bobby's got announced 11 p.m. Greek time, and I wasn't expecting it, so I had nothing prepared. That's why this episode has gone a day after. Late last night, and then Babis Kostoulas officially got announced as a Brighton player after a saga that brought disdain, division, and confusion through the fan base. Babis Kostoulas, of course, joining Stefanos Zimas. Babis Kostoulas is, of course, the most expensive transfer from the Superleague, doubling potential transfer fee. He is the most expensive transfer of a Greek player, beating out Manolas, if I'm not completely mistaken, and he is the second most expensive Brighton transfer ever, only behind it was a Leeds player. I'm pretty sure this is the only thing I didn't note down, and that's dumb on my part. It's a Leeds player. I'm pretty sure it's Cooter that beat him out, and he, of course, was one of the most expensive 18 or under transfers in Europe pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he stood in the top 7, but don't quote me on that. And this man is just getting started. Of course, we all wanted him here. People didn't want him to go. I didn't want him to go. But seeing one of the best and brightest talents that you've produced in your club's history, that I say, get such a chance and fulfill his dream, even after one professional season, is something you can't help but be the happiest about. And I just want to start this off by saying that yesterday, seeing the announcement, heard seeing the deal, felt like a stab in the heart. Honestly, seeing the deal be completed from a fan's perspective, but seeing Bundesliga get the opportunity to play in the best league in the world for a team that's known for helping young talent break through in the Premier League, a team that is constantly fighting for Europe, may not be in Europe, but is constantly fighting for Europe. And knowing that he'll be surrounded by such a positive environment, and of course have Stefanos Tsitsipas there, who joined Brighton officially few months ago. Uh, of course, Nuremberg bought Tsitsipas out, and Brighton bought him from Nuremberg. So seeing two Greek stars sign, but especially seeing your own club's starboy sign is a prospect that, as much as the deal hurt, because it does, I'm not even gonna lie, the deal hurt badly, and as much as a lot of us cried with his goodbye, and I damn well will admit that I did, it's something that you can only be happy about. And honestly, I know that everyone wishes him the best. I know that everyone will be watching Brighton very closely next season, and I know that everyone will be ecstatic about the prospect of Kostoulas getting his chance to slowly but surely conquer Europe, and then, as he said, come back to the club of his heart. But before he comes back, I think we all wish for him to conquer every club that he plays for, as he truly deserves. Of course, Kostoulas signs a 5-year deal. He is contracted to Brighton up until 2030. And let's get into the very confusing deal as things stand. Of course, a lot of reports, even Fabrizio himself said that the main fee is 35 plus 2. And I am gonna quote, uh, I'm gonna quote Thrylos 7 here. The 35 plus 2, didn't expect that to be noticed. Of course, parenthesis again. Of course, as you all saw, the branding of the show switched a couple of days ago, moving forward from the 100 years logo to the main logo, which is still mind blowing to me that one of the main inspirations of the show made the logo for the show. So, as I'm leaning more and more into the red and black theme of the show, which I once again want to give credit to the first people that were here that helped me with the eventual branding of the show. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, I changed the color of the banners into a more darker red. So I'm glad that it's showing nicely. So yes, as we were saying, quoting Thrylos 7, the 35 plus 2 fee that was mentioned are basically the guaranteed money that will come to Olympiacos. The guaranteed bonus is something like appearances, for example. That's the guaranteed money that Olympiacos will get. With further bonuses, the deal can surpass 40 million. That's why Transfermarkt has it listed at 40. That's why people are mentioning 40. So the total fee with bonuses seems to be around 40 million. And Olympiacos are holding a 20% profit fee, which means that if Brighton, when Brighton eventually sell Kostoulas for what's probably going to be a very hefty fee, we are going to get 20% of the profit that Brighton gets from the deal. So whatever fee we got now, subtract that from the deal that Brighton will eventually, inevitably sell Kostoulas on from, and the number that's left is what we'll be getting 20% from. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you all, why you're not, like you don't understand what 20% profit fee is, but I hope what I said makes sense. So the deal isn't as underwhelming as first was mentioned. It's just another case of Greek media being Greek media. And that's a whole different rant I can get into with stuff that's been happening in general lately, but I won't. You'll know my opinion, and if you don't, I'll gladly talk about it on other socials and not waste time now. So after getting this completely record breaking deal for Bounce Kostoulas and having him spread his wings, of course we all read the the very emotional goodbye. The first thoughts of everyone, I think, is that it's such such a mix of emotions to see a kid that came into the Olympiacos Academy, the son of a legend of Olympiacos, of course, a kid that grew through the Olympiacos Academy, a kid that won everything there is to be won in the Olympiacos Academy, with, of course, the most notable trophies being the two times he was under 19s champion, the incredible campaign in the Youth League, the double this season, and his incredible appearances themselves in Europe and in domestic competition. A serial winner from the youngest of ages, someone that Siladopoulos brought up in a group that he treated as his own children, and one of the main examples that the work Olympiacos has been putting in the academy and the money that Mr. Marinakis has been putting in the academy is more than paying off. And as mixed as the feelings are, as I said, it's it's a huge positive for the player. It's a huge positive for the club itself, not only for the hefty amount of money that we are going to get, even including the profit, uh, not the profit fee, as I called it earlier, the profit clause that we have. And honestly, it's a great way to show off what Olympiacos can produce, what Olympiacos is, and it's a step forward in showing off the academy that Olympiacos is now in Europe's respected. We were for many different reasons, with the main one, of course, being that we have won the damn Conference League, but it's just steps and steps up built that show that Olympiacos is in Europe's elite and Europe's respected. And as much as I didn't want this deal to happen from a fan's perspective, as I said, now that it has, we need to look both at the positives for Babis and wish him the best and how the club can move. And I know that speculation is already there, criticism is already there, disappointment is there, and I get all of that. But such a deal hides a whole branch of positives if you look at it in hindsight. So, as a conclusion, I suppose, it's more of a positive and it is a negative, as sad as it may be. Now, looking back at the year that Babis had a first professional year in football that people can dream of. He let his talent shine everywhere, having notable appearances in the Europa League, topping them off with an assist, having crucial goals, especially as I have seen this comment and I've been waiting to use it as a segue. Έφυγε αυτή της Θεσσαλονίκης. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. With 2 goals versus PAOK, 2 crucial goals versus PAOK, a winner up in Tupa as well, and 2 crucial goals versus Aris that once again won us a game. So yeah, a proven special loan for the Thessaloniki clubs. A goal versus Pana, a goal against Volos, and a goal against Athens Kalthea. 7 goals and 2 assists to top off this, his first, but not his last, Superleague campaign. An assist in the Europa League. A lot of basketball talk has been on my mind, and I almost went on to say an assist in the EuroLeague. And stats that, again, people can only be truly, truly jealous of. We're talking about a player that can cover the entirety of the attack. His main position, of course, being attacking mid, as he can break off in both wings, as he's shown with the right wing, of course, being a preference. And to top that all off, he can also cover the striker position, which I'm sure that along with Jimas in Brighton, their interjections with each other will complement their attacking game perfectly, honestly. And looking at some of his stats, some of his achievements this season, it makes you think that perhaps his year was even more memorable than we even managed to think. Again, crediting Thrylos 7 for the next few listed stats. Amongst the attacking midfielders and the wingers in Greece, Kostoulas had the highest non-penalty goals per 90. Kostoulas had the highest expected goals and expected assists per 90, strengthening the argument of not only his ability to find and create chances and to dive in those and to look for those pockets either in the midfield or cutting in for the wing to create the chances for whoever's in front of him. And he was also one of the most effective, if not arguably the most effective, on the press, which proved crucial in letting his talent shine in Mendilibar's game. And which honestly proved crucial with how some Super League teams were going on in defending. His play helped us many times. His play, of course, helped us gain points that eventually won us the down league. Not just his final contribution, but the things he brings, the strength, of course, one of the biggest positives of Babis Kostoulas ever since the beginning has been. Do let me know if audio and video have been okay, by the way, because I want to know if you all actually have heard me normally up to now. So one of the biggest positives that everyone has been pointing out about Babis Kostoulas is that he's been one of the strongest of his age group, and he's been very physically ready for the big leagues ever since he came in, and he has actually proven that even more. And for any Brighton fan that may be watching in any capacity, as I've said to some of you when I talked about it on Twitter, I don't think there is any real or actual concern that Babis will be able to keep up in the Premier League because not only is he physically ready, but the mixture of his strength, dynamic play, pace, and football IQ, I think will not only help him keep up, I think that he will more than easily stand out enough to make the fee paid more than worth it. And I think you'll enjoy him a lot. Of course, talking about Babis Kostoulas, you can't help but talk about that insane uh, youth league campaign last season that helped both him and Muzakidis mainly breaking the squad. Let me actually talk about this comment for a second. I think 40 million euros is a very high amount of money. It was the best for both Olympiacos and Kostoulas. That's debatable, honestly. That can really stand to be debated. As I said, I talked about this a bit in the start. Given the profits alone that Olympiacos secured, the deal can eventually maybe even go up and above 50. Okay, I can hear that. But I will also hear the argument that was made that the risk of him staying was going to be worth it. I'm just of the opinion that now that the deal got made and completed, I think that we should look more at the positives of this deal going through than talk about what ifs. And of course, we wish Kostoulas the best and support him every way, every step of the way, like he deserves, because he does deserve that. And as I said, I more than believe that he'll stand out. But of course, as I was going to start mentioning, you can't skip that incredibly youthful campaign with him scoring a very impressive amount of 5 goals and 2 assists. He's been crucial everywhere he's played, honestly. Of course, a sore stint with the B team as well, with him securing 3 goals and 3 assists. In the under 19 in total, with him winning 2 titles, he's had 15 goals and 4 assists. And again, just a simple reminder that may get overlooked. He's done this at the ages of 15, 16, and 17. He just turned 18 this year. So, for example, for the under 19s, we're talking about a 15-year-old. For the B team, we're talking about a 16-year-old. For the youth league, we're talking about a 16 to 17-year-old. Kostoulas is a very bright talent. and wishing him the absolute best is the bare minimum. I honestly can't wait to see Brighton next season. I really, really can't. It will take a while to get used to, maybe even until the friendlies where we don't see him anymore. But the biggest thing that we can do as a fan base, which Kostoulas has always and will always be a part of, because Kostoulas bleeds red and white. Kostoulas is Olympiacos, and Kostoulas, talent-wise and football-wise and person-wise, is one of the best representations of Olympiacos. The best thing we can do is, as he supports us every step of the way, we can and need to support him every step of the way. That's about it on my end. Uh, a very nicely paced 35-minute episode, 30 to 35-minute episode about all that Kostoulas has given us. Thank you all very much for watching and supporting as always. Check everything down below, and I'll see you all, if plans go well, on Sunday for a season recap of basketball. I appreciate you all very much. You can't imagine how much you're supporting me. Thank you.